Right, okay. Should have sound right now, huh? Right, I think you are able to hear me. So, yeah, for anyone who's already here, welcome to, yeah, something new. Start of something new. As I had, as I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I am going to do like a weekly trend of doing the Tuesday evening races down for Grand Legends. Yeah, first with GPLRACER and later in the evening with UKGPL. Go straight into the server, so we'll just get ourselves in. There's a trouble for that. Just need to get something on the second screen so I can watch any comments made during the race. Right, so this is a bit of a, like I said, weekly thing. We do a little bit of racing for a good 3 hours this evening. You know, just have a little bit of fun. Have a bit of a chat in the meantime, if I have the time to read. And you know, just make the best of it. See how I do, if I do well, and no, maybe see some nice battles throughout the event. So yeah, what's going to happen for at least the first couple of months is we're going to do like finish the season that's been going on in GPLRACER and UKGPL. They're both pretty much at either the latter half of the season or just at the end of the year. I mean, it goes for especially for GPLRACER, which has only 3 races left for the 66 Cup and only 2 for the 65 Cup. So we're doing 5 weeks of GPLRACER, and after that they'll have their winter break, and maybe have some fun races in between. But I'm not really sure what the plans are yet. What the admins are planning to do. UKGPL is going to continue a little bit longer until close to Christmas. So they will be out there as well. And we have a bit of diversity in mods here. You know, tonight we'll be doing the 66 mod and the 55 mod. And the week thereafter there will be 65 and the Caterhams. So yeah, especially on the 65 and Caterham, I expect some fun close racing, but I think we can do that here as well with the little trickier cars. Anyway, I think I've said enough. I think we should do a couple of laps here at the Assen TT. Just need to fix my pedals for a moment. Right, we're good on that. No, we're not quite good because I haven't enabled my joystick yet. Alright, now we should be good. There we go. Just gonna take on my gloves. recently bought new ones. The old ones were falling apart, so I had to get some new ones to, you know, keep my thrustmaster wheel to keep the leather fine as much as possible. Though that is also deteriorating a little bit. They unfortunately don't last very long. Never mind, let's get going. So Assen TT, I've driven the track already a couple of times in my history driving Grand Prix Legend. It's a fun track to drive. It's a little, yeah, it's an old track, so it's quite a fair bit off with how the track was really run. I'm driving the one of my favorites out there today, the BRM P261. Used in 64 and 65, but also saw some usage beyond the years. It was really used, so in 66, 67, I think even 68. There's been a couple races where it has taken part with different engine configurations. Obviously in 66 it's a little bigger than the 1.5 and liter engine. It has been upgraded to 2 liters. Doesn't quite have the power of the bigger cars, but it's light, it's agile, and I think it's a pretty good fit for this race. Don't think it will quite be like the Brabham BT19, for example. I think there are a lot of people here that are using this car out there today. I've been picking the fastest car of the entire grid, why wouldn't you? But I think it's often a little bit dull to always go with the fastest car, and that's often really my mindset when I take these races into account. Most of the time I'm not picking the very best car you can take, but a car which will do quite well and do the job, and you can be relatively competitive here even if it isn't the best of them all. And with that, I, decided to take a smaller P261 car. I have tried a few of the bigger cars, the Ferrari, the Cooper and the Lotus, but I was not happy with any of the three in terms of handling, so I rather opted to go with something smaller. It won't really have the top speed quite like the big cars, but it will do well enough in the corners so that I can keep up with the other drivers. Just gonna warm myself up here. A couple of laps. It's a long technical track. Lots of liberties with the cambers of the corners, so it makes it pretty fun and exciting to drive. The overtaking opportunities will be modest here. It's really it's actually really a bike track. They race with bicycles here. There weren't really, at least I don't think there were really a lot of four-wheeled vehicle races here, but I haven't dived too deep in the history of the circuit. What I do know is that this is the layout that was used around 1967. Track was a bit longer than it is today. Around a little over 7 kilometers long. This one is. Used to. I crashed. Used to be a bit longer, but I'm really stuck in Hebel here, so I'm gonna get back to the pits. Maybe make a few tweaks because I think it likes to oversteer a bit. I could close the differentials here a little bit. So yeah, as I was trying to say, track has known quite a lot of variations. The first one was like very long, and I think it went through several towns and villages, which were all railroads used in the vicinity of Assen. And as time went by, the circuit went smaller and smaller and smaller until the about 4.5 kilometer long track it is today. Actually had some plans to maybe attend a historic Grand Prix event at Assen, which was held somewhere in August, but plans didn't get into fruition, so I had to abort those. Pretty sure that it was work related and I had to work on a Saturday, so car already feels like I can have some more control on the throttle, so that's promising. Now just up to me to warm up the tires. Do not get yourself stuck in the hay bale again, please. Really had to tweak this car a lot to get rid of a lot of understeer the default setup had. Especially in the high-speed corners. I constantly had a lot of understeer, but it's pretty much fixed now. During training. Slight very wide there for the hairpin. I just noticed I probably should take a bit of fuel out of the car because 14 gallons is a bit much for qualifying. That's race fuel. competitor ahead of us. Oh, the car really stretchy. Leaves the room. Appreciate that. Missed the apex there quite hard. Plenty of space for improvement around here, that's for sure. Pink is driving the 3-liter car here. Was really gaining on the straights. Oh, this is not the right place to park your car, sir. The corner was better than last time out. That's improvement. Car is very loosey-goosey in the corners. Makes it tricky to handle, but in a way I like it. Easy to catch. And I spin out. That's a pity. That was looking really good up until that point. I'm gonna dive in the pits now. We're gonna make some minor adjustments and get some qualifying fuel in so we can put some competitive qualifying laps. See how close we can get to these BT19s for the most part, I believe. Oh look, Uli at least is in a Ferrari. That's nice at least. So many people are driving the Brabham out there today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the choice, of course, but you know, not too much of a fan of it personally. 4 gallons should be enough. And one more clutch to maybe make the car a little bit more stable in the corners. See how it pans out in handling. The car feels a lot more stable now. It's more to my liking. If there are any comments on the audio or the video, then do let me know and I can see if we can maybe fix a couple of things. Wow, what am I doing? Well, the first lap is a bust, but I think we got at least 2 more laps to give it a go. The tires are not fully on temperature anyway, so... I think hitting all those pylons may have tempered my suspension a little bit, but car's still feeling okay. Very hairy for the final turn. Might not have enough for another lap, so you really have to make this one count, I think. Losing that much speed won't help. Not too far off my personal best though. Oh, that's so bad. No, this is not the lap. Gonna see if we can still make it, but I don't really like my chances. And drop to 6th on the grid. .37, yeah, we're still good if we just don't make mistakes in this sector. Okay, this lap's gonna be it. Good for a sector. And then do not spoil this one. A little shortcut, nobody saw that. I'll be happy to get within a second in this car. Right, 2 more corners to go. Oh, so far off the apex. And then I hit violence. Yep. Way to actually screw it up for myself. Oh my goodness me, I'm not in shape. Right, well, we'll just tank this car up for the race. 17 laps. Like, one tiny change on the tires. Oh, and then everything should be fine. Alright, let's get on the grid. Yeah. One double check. Yes. It looks slightly bouncy. I hope that the streaming doesn't really compromise the racing too much. Green flag. Racing. Oh, bad getaway from the Ferrari there. This is where I'm going to lose some ground, probably. Maybe not. Oh, look at the braking of the Ferrari there. Oh, there's a little contact between David and Stefan. Kept out of trouble though. That's a relief. Yeah, that's us safely through the opening phase. Now I want to chase the back. Big battle for second place, but that will mean that Tristan will be able to drive very freely. Oh, Ferrari goes wide, he spins. And now Stefan goes wide. A little bit, leave some room. Where is he? Where is he? He's not there. With that we're pretty free, but yeah, Stefan should get by me on the straight. Not really. Alright, let's chase Skingley. I think he's catching up to Tristan. Having free air and using the powerful slipstream of this most of the mods, but the 60 signals of course also having that. We're able to win ground on it. It looks like Stefan has made a mistake in this corner again. It's going to be between the three of us. I wasn't sure if I was going to race for the win here, but I think I have a chance. Even though this underpowered car is not the best option for this, maybe I can make something out of it in the corners. Nope, this is multiplayer, this is all online racing. little thing slapper, but we made it. Right behind the two Brabhams now. Let's dice, boys. Oh no, we spin. Too far wide there, and yeah, I'm afraid I've lost touch 52. Maybe I'll get lucky later in the race when they battle together, but I think most of my chances are gone now. Stretch for a score on that. Ball is right on his tail. Everybody's still in the race, good to see. I don't think they're quite duking it out just yet. Missed the corner there. Bit much speed for the corner, but we kept it within the lines. We got the fastest lap of the race, which is not quicker than Tristan. So he did one better. I think Paul may have missed his brake model a little bit there. And then we'll catch up with Tristan, but we showed it with Paul. A little bit of gust, but I don't think it really affected my time. But that lap was definitely faster than Tristan's. Oh, it only wins me a couple of tenths, so... We also have to contribute the speed a little bit to the fact that I have some tow from the Brabham in front of me. gonna brake in there, so I was compromised on my entry line. Really on the apex. Ball's looking a little squirmy there. Yeah, Tristan is going to run away with this. So far I've not really been able to do an attack on Paul. I mean, I am quick in the corners, but not significantly enough that I could really go down the inside on him or something. And I lose enough on the straights. I can't do enough to get close by him at this point. Yeah, it's a big difference between 260 brake horsepower and 315. This is the closest I've ever been to him though, but I have no space here to do anything. This bit is so twisty, you can't really go side by side here. Oh, it's letting me through. I don't think I'm gonna win much of anything at all with that, I think. Again, give it a shot and see how we do from here, without any tow. Honestly, I just think my own lap times are going to tumble this way. Oh, that line was so off. Let's see on lap time is without Paul ahead of me. It's in the 35, so it's better. I think I actually gained a little bit on Tristan, so maybe some small low, but it's only 7 laps left, so not that long. Wow, I'm really letting the tail go there. Fabian is driving a, I think this is a Lotus 33 Climax. Oh. It's this darned corner again where I spin out. I also just shifted to my first for no reason. Is the stream actually still working? Because from my studio side, it seems that YouTube isn't playing anymore for some reason. Alright, 5 laps left. The gap is way too big to Tristan to really do anything, so it's just a matter of finishing this race. Not much left to say with 4 laps to go. This first race was, you know, a little more exciting, but you know, the grid just fell apart like that, and doesn't make much for much excitement. But we have another race later this evening, and hopefully it will be providing a little more entertainment. Was another driver, it seems. Uli Hofmann retiring from the race. The Ferrari car that spun out at the end of the first lap. Two laps left. Right, this should be the last lap. One purple sector. And I got, well, more than plenty of fuel. Could have done with 2 gallons less. Yeah, I'm not pushing it for the last lap, but it's really for the glory of it. Maybe we get a fastest lap of the race out of it. This one should cross the Rhine right about now. Final corner, let's see what my final lap time will be. You did a 35.07. What do I do? 34.88. That's gotta be the best, the fastest lap of the race. I think I've held myself a little bit back here. More pace than I really wanted to let out, but no matter. The second place, it's pretty decent. Alright, we'll just close up the game now. We'll just have a quick look at the results here. There it is, fastest lap is for me. Second place, Tristan wins 12 seconds ahead of me. Right, we'll just go out of the lobby. And we'll get right into the next lobby at the UKGPL. Server has already started from the looks of things. We'll just hop into our Ferrari. Make sure we're already there, and in the meantime, I'll take a little break to get a little refreshed. And we should then be going around 10 PM or so. So a small 10 minutes. So yeah, I'll also take a refresher too, and maybe I'll see you in a little bit of time. Okie dokie. On to round 2 of this evening of racing. And we got the Zeltweg, or the Österreichring. We're driving 1955 cars here, which is a bit of an odd combination, given there's 15 years between the two. We have a little look at the grid here so far. So yeah, let's drive straight in and get a couple laps going. So for this race I'm driving the Ferrari 625. This is a privateer's car. I'm not really sure which one it is, but I imagine maybe a South American driver. Honestly, there are quite a few different liveries here for some of the cars in this mod. And I don't know everything by heart to name which one is whom's. Yeah, I'm pretty excited and interested to see how things will go. I love driving the 55 cars. However, I have not done so in quite a long time. I have thought about looking up down into GPL Weekly what my last 55 mod race was, but I've completely forgotten about it before the race, so unfortunately I do not have the data for you. Now this Ferrari 625 has reasonable top speed, from what I remember, but handling wise it's not the best car. It is rather oversteery. It has a tail that really likes to go, so you have to drive with some close differentials, especially on throttle. We could still have a look at how this is going to go. And there's also a bit of a big difference in the championships between UKGPL and GPLRACER. The first thing is, of course, that they split the seasons in two, with something in the spring and something down at autumn. So the championships are shorter. I think this one's about 8 or 9 races and they're about halfway there. A little over halfway, I should say. And with at least the 55 mod, you don't have completely free chassis choice. The big thing being that you have a token system here, and the thing about that is that you have different values in terms of tokens for different cars, and you have to invest these a little wisely throughout the season and not go over budget, because if you do, you get disqualified from the race. So what you want to do is, you know, pick some tracks out where you take a slow car, either a Van Wall or a Connaught or a Gordini. Race that to save up some tokens, which you can then spend on later in the season, taking a more expensive car like the Lancia or the Mercedes. Okay, I left these two guys through. Maybe we can join them in their slipstream battle. Well, I say a battle, it is qualifying, you're not battling. But they're using one another's slipstream to gain some time from one another. And I think the slipstream in this mod is the most powerful than any other around the Grand Prix Legends. I wouldn't really say that it is a good thing, but you know, you gotta take the good with the bad sometimes. I think the original 1967 cars has, in fact, too little slipstream. So, you know, probably better to have more than is realistic than less than is realistic, because at least with more you can get some more exciting racing going. He's going wide. And I almost went as well. I'll do use some two of these guys, but they're both now gone, so that's a bit of a pity. Still, should come on decent lap time out of it. Not a big difference from UKGPL relative to UKGPL relative to GPL races that they drive at 60 frames per second instead of 36. So it's more frames, it's smoother, and it's actually better for wheel-on-wheel racing. Or how much you can in this game. Narrowly kept it on the track. But it did cost me a bit. I'm really going to need a tow if I want to get close to the time of Alain Maurice. Yeah, the slipstream here is genuinely that powerful that you could like win one at maybe 2 seconds a lap if you can use it and use it right. Driving this car, I'm certainly kind of reminded of the video that GPLRACER did about Piero Taruffi, which is a wonderful watch, by the way. You should definitely check it out. But he really explained there how the drivers did it back in the day, where you had like do a different technique than what we are used to today, where we can just turn our wrists like this. But you know, back in the day you had to like, I don't know if you can see what I can do, but it's like you know, like passing the baton, if that explains it well enough. I'm trying to emulate it sort of in my own way, and I think in a way it is pretty pleasing to me, because I have a bit of a knack to put a bit of pressure on especially my left wrist during driving these cars, and I do believe that using this technique I put some ease on it. Right, we're not gonna really get anywhere qualifying like this, so as I scrape the barrier, I think we just should go to the pits for a while and maybe make a few changes to the car. I don't think it's really needed. Maybe make the toe a little higher, the final gear, especially good for in the race. Don't hit the right buttons. See if I can make. Don't think there's much improvement there setup wise, but the tire pressures maybe a little bit. Yeah, I don't really know how much else to improve. Frankly, I am pretty content with how it drives. Could maybe use a little bit more oversteer, so I'll just add some damper on the rear side of the car. It's quite a full grid. Let's count 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I think that's pretty cool about UKGPL. I think it's right now just about the most active league of everything that's out there currently. You know, everywhere you drive around GPL, no matter what league, you know, there's a little bit of a decline in racers. I mean, OIO's pretty good. I race those always on Saturdays. But, you know, other than that, there isn't too much going on anymore. But, you know, UK GPL is pretty busy. I'm frankly not really sure about any other leagues that have pretty well occupied grids, but you know, if you're looking for a game that has a lot of drivers, you're usually good with UKGPL. Great league, by the way. I really recommend it if you want to start driving GPL. I usually would just see a decline in grids, but recently we had one of the leagues actually make a return, and it's called Breasts. That's literally what it's called. But it is an acronym. And they made a bit of a revival. They're currently going through a bit of a revival, doing Formula 2 races on. Let's see, last time, next race is November 7th, so that's on a Friday, I believe. It's November 4th, so 5, 6, yeah, it's on a Friday. I believe the grids are very full out there, but I'm just really going through GPL Weekly now right now, see what all the stats are currently saying, but I think I'm mostly right when I say when the grids aren't really full. I think my Broga has a decent set of drivers still. Yeah, ADC is pretty quiet. So is JP Argentina. PLDR had a quite full grid couple weeks, or does it just look like that? Yeah. Little glitch in the system. Oh yeah, Gade also does it pretty well. I see that's pretty decently strong grid still. Oh, and the French GPL is also pretty well occupied. So yeah, there's still a couple of leagues that have some pretty decent lineups, but yeah, overall, you know, it's not as good as it was on its heyday, but I hope it really gets better in the coming years. Maybe we can offer a little bit of support by doing all these races here. Who knows? Shall we do a couple more laps? How about that? Let's see, Phil Fronton is pretty close. I think we'll drive a little slowly these upcoming laps, let them catch up to us, and then we can do a bit of slipstreaming together. Can already roughly see him in my mirrors. So we'll just take it easy, let it catch up. I think he's going to look for evil, actually. Oh, there he is. Just driving a green car, and I'm not really sure which one it is. I want to say something English, but I have a hard time believing that. Let's hear the noise. Oh no, that's a Maserati. Pretty good choice. And there's the Lancia of Evil. Alright, let's have a little bit of fun with these guys. Leave a little bit of distance so let the slipstream not get too powerful. Then I, you know, later in the lap just catch up with them and I need to back down. It's a bit of game of tactics, this. The fitting field is actually quite close, so it could be a very exciting racing prospect. Oh, I have almost so much trouble in that corner. Still slowing down. And this is from slipstreaming, like, my lap wasn't even good relative to my previous best lap, where I had no toe and I beat it with over half a second. That's how powerful the draft is in the 55, and it's... yeah, it's just at the point where it's ridiculous, personally speaking. Darwin is a bit ahead of us. We can get a little bit of slipstream from this guy. Even from 180 yards away, you're actually still gaining a little bit of time. Oh, he's crashing. Let's see if we make another improvement here. Yes, we do. He moves up one place. Gonna leave it through here. I think he got a little hairy there because of the Maserati in front of us. He's going to let us by, no problem. Do not clip the curb there. Alright, we have a good amount of slipstream we can use from Evil now. Let's get in 2-minute twos. And he's backing out. Of course he is. Yeah, there's no really much point of continuing on from here, so we'll just... Wait, no. Other side of the road, please. I'm just gonna park it, we'll start from P5 at best. And we're just gonna have fun in the race. See, fuel up to 21 laps. I think we'll do 1 gallon less. Yeah. Because I'm looking at a lot of slipstream right now, we're just going to add 1 more on the 5th gear, make it a little taller. Should give a little more revs to work with in the race fight. Well, Tristan will be racing as well there. He usually goes from the GPLRACER to UKGPL as far as I am used to him. But I guess he doesn't like these cars, but I'm not really sure what his opinion is of these cars, so I don't know. Alright, just a little over a minute until qualifying is done. Right, end session standby. We'll just see if we can go through the field and have a look at what their final times will be. There will be improvement or not. I got Darwin here in his Maserati. Doesn't improve. I got Reiner. Just about a tenth short. I got Cliff Loins, he's right behind me on the grid for now. Depending on what his lap time will be, and he's driving in the pits. I've got Cookie, he hasn't had a last lap, so I think he's just testing the car out on race fuel. We'll see how it drives. Oh, he's the last one, so I don't think there will be any more lap time, so let's just prep. Right, so I got Alain Maurice on pole. Oh, he crashed his Lancia apparently. Indeed, it is a pretty close grid, so I think this will be the. I think this is going to be the entertaining part of my. Oh no! We do not want to disconnect from the server. All right, let's get on the grid, have some fun. 20 laps. Run de Oostenrijking, or 21, I should say. Yeah, that's because this track is modeled after 1971, but the cars are indeed from 1955, so you know, it's not entirely realistic. You know, when these cars were racing, this track didn't even exist. They were actually maybe racing a couple miles further at Zeltweg. Actually, in fact, Zeltweg in itself didn't exist in 1955, but could be wrong there. Maybe there were some club races there. With Phil on the inside of the first corner, I expected somebody on the inside. I wasn't really paying too much attention in the mirror because I was too busy talking. So yeah, let's just get racing, guys. Leave a bit of space between the two. It's not a safe space to attack here. two Maseratis in front, two Lancias, and I'm between you in a Ferrari. Big Italian battle. A good exit. Let's see what we can do from here. Maybe get alongside. No, I don't want to do this in this corner. Oh, they're both going wide, very wide even. We'll just get by him from here. I'm gonna need to make some progress. I think the two in front are walking away from us. Which is bound to happen if you take the first turn wide, of course. And colliding with the barrier also doesn't help. Yeah, these cars, they do not have a lot of grip. You can definitely say that. But it makes them very fun to drive. You know, tires were very skinny, the cars were a lot narrower, bulkier, less efficient. But that doesn't make them any less fun to drive. Oh, I must say, I think they're probably a little too easy to drive. They could be a bit more difficult. Good exit. Oh, Phil is looking also right behind me. I'm not gonna make a move here. Well, we're catching up to them, so that's good. Not finding a lot of moves currently. Not that are worth the risk right now. I mean, we're very early in the race still. Yeah, that's something I wouldn't quite know how to explain personally. You have to Axel has more expertise on this. Maybe these tires just didn't exist at the time. I don't know. I mean, there were a lot of skinny tires back. Phil just almost rear-ended into me. Almost on the grass. Now is Patrick right behind me in a Maserati of his own. At the moment these two in front were looking to go side by side, but not the case. Axel and Patrick really close to the barrier. Not sure if they actually hit it, but I digress. I'm just about right. Axel really needs to pick up the pace here. We're not keeping up with the guys. Though they're battling fiercely together. Great to see. Patrick also leaving a little bit of a gap to us now. Yeah, the thing is, the slipstream is strong, but you have to compare the current situation a bit like a DRS train, because everybody has this strong slipstream now, and that in the end kind of negates the effect that exists. So, you know, there's this Lancia in front, there's a blue Maserati, he has slipstream, there's a Lancia in front of me, he has slipstream, I have slipstream. The yellow Maserati behind me has slipstream, and so does the green one, you know. So, even though I have slipstream, so do the other drivers. And it kind of neglects the possibility to really get alongside them. Like, you have to be really, really close to have a genuine slingshot effect, like I am having now. Even then, I do not want to risk too much this early in the race, so I'm not making too many moves just yet. You will make a couple of mistakes there, so the Maserati of Alain has a little bit of room now. Yeah, it's great for slipstreaming, but you know there are a lot of fast corners where it's not ideal for actual overtaking. Right, I think I'm going to remove it because he's losing them again. Oh, he's still right beside me. And we're through. Oh, I carry a lot of speed through the corner there. Ruins the intention of passing Axel there, just a little earlier. Yeah, of course you want to use manual transmission. That's how you're going to get faster. Because if you use any driver aids in this game, you're just going to be slow. The only thing I'm not using is the clutch. I'm just not comfortable driving with one in this game. I would if I do something like Assetto Corsa or Automobilista, but I just not feel very cozy doing it in GPL. Right. We can make some gains now. Frame rate loss there. I think someone retired. Shouldn't be happening because this is an intermediate race, which means you can reset the car. It's not the case in GPLRACER, which is a pro mode, which means if you lose a wheel, you crash out, you're done. maybe I should consider letting Axel through again, because I do not feel like I'm getting much closer under my own violation. Maybe I do, but we'll have to reveal what my lap time is. 2:33, 2029. Okay, we are catching up, so we're good. Axel is going very wide into the corner. Oh, evil going on the grass. Nearly lost it there. Yeah, sliding sometimes can be faster in these cars. The group is now breaking apart a little bit, but we're approaching the leader, so that's good. I think it hasn't much as sliding concerns, and I think it's also a bit of driving preference. You see the Lancia in front. He's sliding quite a lot. I'm doing it too. The Maserati in front me doesn't less. They're more steady. Most of things. Right, this is gonna be an interesting fight. A top 3 and 3 different manufacturers. We're getting a little close for comfort. Oh, he's rather late on the brakes from my point of view, but he makes it just fine, so... Little daring, I'd say, but... job well done. You're roughly halfway there, fight is still on. You've only quite some ground to Alain. Axel still following. Yeah, that's it. The rest of the train has been separated. Let's go to 4-way fight still. That's a bit too much light. Evil goes for the overtake, gets pretty close, but Lance going wide, is on the corner. Oh, Evil goes wide again. So I no need to meddle into that. Alain's taking the lead back again, but Evil might cross. No, he keeps behind. Leaders keep changing. Oh, a little bit too much curb from Alain there. Yeah, I'm going to pass him. That's me in P2 now. But the sides fight's certainly far from over. Yeah, Evil has some free air now and he's intending to make use of it. And to make sure I stay along. Lancia does have more power and generate better handling, so car-wise I am at a disadvantage. Alright, 5 laps left. This would be a good time to go a little more on the attack. Maybe just looking for an attack. Got quite close to my car. Evil going on in defense. Have to find another way by. Oh, he's hitting the wall. Is there room on the inside, maybe? Not quite, but we can make it. Really putting him on the hot seat now. See if we can force him into it near our source. Slow my car down, but perhaps a little more than necessary. Another thing I should say about a 55 one is that there is a brake fade, which is that, well, at a certain time when the brakes get too hot, there is just no performance. So if you brake, it just, well, it coasts really. And you can see on the revometer there is a green light, which is an indicator of how much brake power you have left. If it's green, you're good. Yellow is less power, and red is next to no power left. Now on track as this one, it's rather easy to manage. You don't have to pay too much attention to. But there are other tracks where braking is heavier and you really need to manage your braking well if you don't want to end up going straight into a barrier or a hay bale or whatever obstacle there may be on the course. Alan's getting a little dicey with me, getting a little impatient maybe. I should get more into the attack stance myself now. I've been a little patient, but I have to get into his heels. There is a Maserati going slow, missing a wheel. Oh, wheel spin. Oh, a little nudge from Alan there. Luckily I can keep continuing, and this is one of the, well, let's say a little bit of an advantage of driving 60 FPS. If it were 36, we'd probably be in the barrier now together. Because netcode and things. Evil has big advantage now because he has a Maserati in front of him. Oh, but he's holding him up actually, so that's good for us. Let's make the best out of the exit of the corner here. Hopefully we can get close. I think we're a little too far behind, but maybe we can make him a little nervous. No, we cannot. We can still get on the attack. Stay the inside of the corner. Just about side to side. He leaves me the room. Oh, I should have dived into the gap there. It's still possible, maybe. Yes, it is. He leaves the room. Oh, we're side by side. Leave the space. Oh my god, I think we might be almost free wide now. Oh my god. This is for the win. He has the inside. He measures it well. I'm trying to take the inside. No, we can do it. He has won it. There's the checkered flag. Oh, what a fantastic final lap that was. Oh, this is where we go racing. For this. What of evil, he won. He made a battle count for himself. I tried to... I really had to go at him in the final lap, but just wasn't enough. Alright. Let's park the car. We'll have a little look at the TV replay from the final lap. Okay, we'll start from Bosch. Little further. Right, over here. Close behind. Keep playing. Right, here we go. So here I had a pretty good run on the inside. He's very far wide, so I could win some meters from that alone. He gets pretty close here. Doesn't have quite momentum. You know, it's actually a little audacious of me to keep it on the inside like that, but he's respectful. He leaves the room. Then here too. I think here, no, there was no room to make like a switchback. And yeah, he just covered the inside well, and I just had no chance to just dive in on the inside or such. Nah, but great fight, great fight. Okay, with that we have 2 races done and yeah, 2 second places. That's not bad for a first run. Great to be racing in these Tuesdays evenings again, so you know, happy to be back. With that, I'm also going to conclude the stream here. Seen that a couple of you guys still are watching until the very end, and to those that say thank you very much. I hope you had a good time. It certainly has been for me. And well, on to next week. I hope to see you then too.